Los.
Herzlich willkommen bei Wein am Limit, liebe Freunde. Schön, dass ihr wieder dabei seid zu Mehr Spaß im Glas. Heute aus Lissabon in Portugal. Und neben mir ist Susana Esteban. Susana Esteban war lange Zeit bei einem ganz berühmten Weingut hier. Das ist die Quinta do Crasto im Douro-Tal. Das wird sicherlich der eine oder andere kennen. Hohe Parkerbewertungen etc. Seit einigen Jahren ist sie selbstständig unterwegs. Sie arbeitet für viele Weingüter nach wie vor. Sie ist Weinmacherin. Sie kommt ursprünglich aus Galicien, als Spanierin hier in Portugal. Auch nicht so einfach, beziehungsweise hat sich hier einen ganz guten Namen gemacht und hat heute ihr eigenes Projekt. So Susana, I was just telling very nice things about you. I was telling you were from Galicia and that you are that you've been working for many famous wineries and now you're working with your own. First of all, thanks for stopping by and tell us a little bit about Portuguese wines. What makes them different?
For the
Portuguese wines in general, yes.
I think they have a very big diversity from the north to the south, and this is very interesting to me to work because I start in the Douro Valley and now in the Alentejo, so we have a big diversity.
Okay, so what about diversity in climates, diversity in grapes, as I understand too?
Everything, yeah, everything. But mainly maybe in grapes. We have autochthon grapes. Different from everywhere.
So starting in the Douro Valley means that's in the north.
Yes.
What's the difference between the north, the Douro Valley, and the Alentejo, where you work now? The Alentejo is the south, so close to Lisbon.
Yes, it's very different. Mainly the mentality is very different from the Douro, from the Alentejo. But my idea is to make good wines in the Douro and with good wines in the Alentejo.
Okay, but what's the difference in mentality? You're talking about mentality. In the Douro, what's the mentality?
In the Douro, I think because the port wine, there is a very big tradition and the family works maybe like with the heart than the business. Maybe in the Alentejo, the main projects are more business than passion projects.
And I understand in the Alentejo the wineries are larger, and in the Douro they're smaller.
Yeah.
And both regions are very different in style. Douro wines seem to be a little bit more mineral driven in most cases. Alentejan wines are regarded to be a more, let's say, if you want to acquaint Portuguese wines, maybe Alentejo is better to get acquainted with because they're a little bit softer.
It's maybe more commercial, but I think there are small producers, very different producers to make different wines in the Alentejo, and this is that I looking for in my project to make something different in the Alentejo, not the commercial, to make something.
Well, you come with a great background, and so you're going to become a game changer, maybe. So we start with this wine. This is your first wine, called Aventura 2013. So it's an Alentejano. So I understood many different grape varieties in this wine.
Yes, because it's our old vineyard, 30 years old, from Serra de San Mamede. So in Alentejo there is a serra. It's only
sorry.
So it's and this is different from the another Alentejo. So
normally the Alentejo is flat, and so but a lot of people don't know. The further you go inland towards Spain, it gets higher.
It's a very small area with very particular vineyards, small traditional vineyards with a blend of grapes from this area like Carinto, Tomás, Roupeiro, Govello and everything. So I'm looking for these special vineyards to make my wines. Are all small quantities.
How many bottles do you produce of this wine?
4,000.
4,000. Well, that's very small. So this is one vineyard, I understand.
Yes.
It's a field blend, different grapes.
Different, like in the
How come? Why is there so many different grapes in that vineyard? Is it just because
nobody knows very well why the people at this time put every.
They just planted because
but if the blend is good, the result is really good and is unique.
You harvest at the same time, or you have to harvest
at the same time because it's all blend.
So it's all field blend. So treated
and
the
it's
same.
very difficult to know the exact time to make the harvest.
back home we say we field blend we have because people wanted to have continuous quality in the vineyard.
Yeah.
That's why they planted many different grapes to change, to be more adaptable with the different climates. So they will have more consistency throughout the years. Maybe.
Yeah.
So Rupero, Gouveio, many
Arinto,
Portuguese Arinto, many grape varieties are difficult to pronounce. So what I think in this wine, you get a lot of the lime and lime, grapefruit, citrus flavors, and a little bit of the white flowers. So it's very kind of, fresh, and at the same time you have some herbal notes. So it's quite a spectrum here.
Yes. I think this area is very special because you have it's fresh, and the same time you feel the.
It's really tart here, this wine. What did you do to that wine? Did you make skin contact, or is that the grape?
No. I put in a traditional press, vertical press.
Yeah.
It's a press for make reds, but I use this because I like the traditional grapes, the traditional vineyards, but I like the traditional way to make the wines.
This is beautiful. I mean, if a lot of people think Alentejo is too hot for white wines.
No, but this is.
And so this is different.
It's very fresh because it's from the mountains.
Yeah. So how high was the vineyard again? 400 meters or how
400
high?
meters.
400 meters. Beautiful wine. I have a Soulpunkte rating system. So I give this wine, which is a remarkable wine for me, with a lot of freshness, a lot of minerality, with a lot of interesting flavors, coming from fruit to floral to spice.
Yeah.
I give this wine 4 Soul points out of 6, which is very good.
Thank you.
No, but it's a wine which is, I think, very good with food. It needs food almost because you really have this acidity, and I can see you are making very serious wines here.
Yeah.
Not this. This is probably not a wine for the typical Alentejo wine drinker.
No.
This is the opposite, probably.
Yeah. And it's, I think the mouth is full because it's a 30 years old vineyard. So.
And it only has 12.5% alcohol.
Yes.
So that's another thing. Oh, this is nice, but ooh la la. So this is good with Portuguese cuisine too, which I mean, especially the fish here in town.
Yeah.
Oh. So we're going now on changing. Just give it a little. Let's give it a little whirl here. So we're now having the red wines. That's normally what people think about Alentejo, no? Red wine country.
Yeah.
Tell me, what's the difference between Douro red and Alentejo red first?
It's very difficult
question.
Yes, very difficult. Maybe the Alentejo are more commercial, usual, more soft, more easy to drink for people that wants just to drink a good wine with a good relationship.
But this is very serious stuff here. I just did a sniff. So Aventura 2012. Wow. This is a very peppery. So what grape varieties first of all? I think is Touriga
This
Nacional.
is 40% Touriga Nacional, 40% Aragonés from Évora, from the north of Alentejo, and then 20% from a vineyard of Porto Alegre in the Sava.
Porto Alegre,
because I want to make a fresh wine, fresh. I want to make fresh wines in a hot area like Alentejo.
But what? So we understood now. You have to go into the mountains.
Yes.
But at night, because this is almost like a desert style. The Alentejo, does it get cold, or how do you make fresh wines here? How do you get that?
Because it's in the mountains. And it's
all in the mountains. This is all mountain vineyards.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, this is very peppery, very spicy experience. I think you're very good on the oak, because sometimes with Portuguese wines, to be honest, sometimes the oak is very dominant.
It's zero oak.
It's zero oak.
Zero oak.
And it's just so. This is just the fruit.
Just the fruit. Because my idea with this wine is to make. Sometimes when I go to a restaurant and I want something, drink a wine fresh with simple food, or in the summer. And
I need some food.
I only find the wines with oak. So when I thought in this wine to make this wine, I thought a fresh wine with no oak.
It is remarkable. I mean, it's not a soft wine. I mean, if you're seeking a soft wine, that's kind of a fireplace wine. This is certainly, you need some real Alentejano food here. Yeah. Pork and lamb, cabrito, things like this.
Yes.
But what is nice about it is a really firm structure and without oak.
Yeah, without oak. Yeah.
Fantastic.
It's only for the
Super.
fruit.
I think, is it difficult sometimes when you come with these wines? A lot of people have an image of Alentejo. Now you are producing a wine which is kind of the antithesis of an typical Alentejo.
Yeah, if the people looking for the typical Alentejo, they don't like the wines because it's not a typical Alentejo.
Yeah.
When people looking for something different or something fresh, they love the wines.
Tell me something about Touriga. What is Touriga in the blend? What is Touriga doing in the blend?
The Touriga, I put the Touriga because it's a good noise with flowers.
Yeah. So it's one of your best grape varieties
Yes.
in Portugal, no? Touriga Nacional.
Very nice.
And then you said the other one is the Aragonese, which is the Tempranillo grape.
Tempranillo is because the mouth is very. It's good to make this style of wines without oak.
Okay, and then the rest is
It's
indigenous.
20% of a blend of traditional vineyard in Porto Alegre.
Well, you have in Portugal around 250 grape varieties. Do you know all of them?
No.
No, it's impossible.
It's impossible.
It's impossible?
No, it's impossible.
Okay, now we're going to your top wine.
Yeah.
So I just with the price, I think this is going to be around 10 bucks. 10
€10.
euronen. 10 euronen.
10 euros.
Great.
10 euros.
10 euros. This is fantastic value, boys and girls. This is great wines, I have to say. And now we're going to the Procura. Where does the name come from? Aventura, Procura?
Procura,
2011?
Procura means looking for, because when I decided to start my own projects, I was 2 years looking for the good grapes, the good vineyards to make my wines. So it's because an Aventura is because it's a big adventure to become a producer since 15 years to work for another companies like a winemaker.
Okay. Well, I understand you're still working as you're consulting to many
I
wineries
still,
and are involved in many projects.
5
but,
more.
But this is really your heart and soul here,
My
kind
small
of. Your small business.
Yeah.
This is fantastic, though. Here I get a total different flavor spectrum. This is really like dark. This is a little bit etheric. I find a little bit of mint in this wine.
Yeah.
A little bit what I find in Australian wines, a lot of licorice, spice.
Yeah.
It's dark, but at the same time it's very blueberry, dark berry fruit.
Yeah.
And the color is
I think
amazing.
it has a very good, very high complexity because it's from 60% is from a vineyard of Porto Alegre, from this area in the mountains, and it's a blend of different grapes, different traditional grapes from this area. 40% is Alicante Boucher. I love the Alicante Boucher to put in the barrels.
Tell us a little bit about Alicante Boucher. This is especially in Alentejo district.
To me, the Alicante Boucher is like the Touriga Franca in the Douro. It's very important to make this the wines to put in the barrels because it has a structure, acidity, good color, and then you need something to make the wine different.
It's very young, this wine.
Yes, it's 2011.
Wow.
It's fresh.
It's very fresh. It's, it's very tannic, but it's tannins which I think are beautiful because they really come from the grape skin, not from the oak.
No.
Because then you really get this kind of cool, chilling factor on the palate, and it's a great length on this wine. But this is by far a statement wine, and I think it's very, very young.
Yeah, I think
it's not. I mean, you can drink it now. But if you drink it now, you need something with it.
Yes, you must. This is to drink with food.
Yeah. Well, in Germany, we drink a lot. Well, this is not only for Germany, but in Germany we have, and like in England and Scandinavia, we do have this tradition for drinking wine by itself.
Yeah.
And with this wine, I wouldn't recommend. So here we are really in that concentrated but still very fresh style. I think the Aventura is a beauty if you really look at price.
Yeah.
This is also what is astonishing to me. No oak.
No.
And so you get still a lot of tannins, and which is nice. And the white wine is really interesting. I rather decant it, and I think it's also a wine which is nice to keep for another 2 or 3 years to see where it goes. So great wines from the Alentejo. A couple of things to Portuguese wines. You are as a Spaniard.
Yeah.
What do you? Well, when you came to this country, how many years is that ago?
15 years ago.
15 years ago. 15 years ago, and now what happens with Portuguese wines?
I think the work are amazing. You can test amazing wines from the north to the south. There are new winemakers to make very good things. I think in Portugal, when I go to another countries, many people say me, it's a surprise to taste the Portuguese wine because all the people love are so different.
Do you think Portuguese wines are underrated in the global wine aspect? Are underrated? Portuguese wines are not rated the way they should be in a global aspect?
I think it takes the time, right?
Yeah.
It's a slow process, but I think we are in the way.
Well, I think you have, in the last 15 years, you have evolved very nicely. What is nice to see, you're doing it different. I think that's very nice to show that Alentejo also has some nice aspects about topography, about climate, and that you can make wines like this. Is there any question you might have to my friends in Germany? I sometimes come with a surprise like this. I didn't ask you. Is there anything you'd like to know from the Germans, from my German friends? So you can ask them a question now, and if they want, they can give you an answer.
It's very difficult because I love the Germany whites now,
Yeah.
and I always want to know how they make this fantastic whites.
Okay, friends. Give Susana an answer on how you make those fantastic white wines in Germany.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Wish you bonne continuation. I was going.
Boa continuação.
Bonne continuation. Thank you for watching Wein Limit, and thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Bye.